Hey everybody, this is Coach Dawn, Ready Life Coaching. How are you? How are you? How are you? I am overjoyed. I am excited. I am feeling absolutely, positively wonderful um, to have you guys here with me for the launch of Real Talk for Coaches. This is an extraordinary moment, and I am excited to have you here. Um, and there's just so much information that I look forward to bringing you through this podcast. So, what I'm doing right now is just making sure that the login information, people can access it. If you have a question, you can log in through Google Meetings or Google Hangouts. It's kind of the same thing. And I'm closing my door to my office. Okay. And so I'm just going to give a few minutes for people to sign in, join us from wherever you are. I am hoping that you guys are tuning in wherever you are. And so right now I am making sure you guys have all the links because we are live. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. So I have everything going on, and I'm now going to open up the browser. Yes, 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 yes. So we are live. So what is Real Talk all about? So here's the deal. Real Talk is for coaches, information for coaches by a coach. Um, and my goal with this platform is to help aspiring coaches, new coaches, even veteran coaches who are open to learning and growing with different information, um, studies, data, information about generating leads, information on what coaching is, demonstrations, different coaching models, and understanding coaching models, and debunking some of the myths and all of that good stuff. So there's a lot. There's so much to cover with this platform, and like I said, I'm excited. I'm like really really excited, and I can't wait, as we grow and build um, and have more people participate and join in. And with that being said, we are also going to have some sponsorship opportunities as well. So I kind of wanted you guys to know that. So I'm going to go just get right into this topic. I don't want to wait any longer because I think it's time for us to really get into the conversation. So, one of the issues that we coaches face um, is that the population really don't clearly understand what coaching is, the benefits of coaching, how coaching can help you, or why you should get a coach. Because my philosophy is everyone should have a coach. Like everyone should have a coach, just like you have a dentist, just like you have a doctor. Hopefully, you have an attorney and you have an accountant. Like every major source or person that you have in your life to help you be better in some way or to help you when you have a challenge in a particular area of your life, I feel the same way about coaching. You should have a coach. And I don't think you should get a coach when you need a coach. I think you should get a coach when you actually don't need a coach because it takes time to develop the rapport, the relationship, the trust, and all that good stuff. But as a coach, our first task is helping people understand what coaching is. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people take their lead or their understanding about coaching from pop culture. Like last week, I saw on Family Guy. Yes, I like Family Guy. Love Family Guy. I saw a Family Guy where Lois and Peter were having a discussion, an argument. And, her dig was, I'm going to get a life coach, as if that's like a threat or like some type of bad thing. I've seen on The Conners, originally called The Roxanne Show, where Jackie Roseanne's sister, she says she's a life coach. If you looked at Claus, one of the characters there, he said he was a life coach. But anytime you hear the title life coach um, mentioned in pop culture or on television shows, what ends up happening is that it's taken for a joke. It's like it's not serious. And the thing is, coaching is an evidence based practice. There are studies out there about coaching and its efficacy and its benefits. I have my PhD in coaching. I am credentialed by the International Coaching Federation, which is one of the oldest self regulating bodies for coaches to join. And there's others, great organizations out there, but I belong to ICF. I sit on the board for the Philadelphia chapter of the ICF. And so we know that it's a very serious profession. It's a lucrative profession. It's a rewarding profession, and we do help people. Um, so I kind of want to talk about what coaching is so that you as a coach can educate your clients or your prospective clients on what coaching is and what people can look for in a coach or what they should be looking for in a coach. And I'm actually going to share with you some of the studies that I've came across where they say, from, you know, some segments of the population, they provided information on what people want in a coach, those who are familiar with coaching, um, and those who have experience coaching. They have reported what they're looking for. So we're going to talk about all of that good stuff. And again, if you have questions, if anyone signs in, please feel free to sign in through Google Hangouts, and you are more than welcome to ask your questions there, or you can ask your questions on Spreaker. If you go to my podcast or my show, and you'll see the chat box there, and you can also ask your questions there if you sign in. So I just kind of wanted to make sure that you guys understood that. So feel free to log in if you want to. And when you download the episode, again, hopefully when you get this information in the download, the next time you join in with us, hopefully you'll call in live with your questions. And again, if you sign in to Spreaker, you'll be able to ask questions, and I'll definitely respond, or my assistant will definitely respond to you. All right, so what exactly is coaching? And again, I think this is very important for coaches to know, because it's our obligation to educate people on what it is. And I think that we also need to share and, I want to say, for lack of a better word, correct the media on what coaching is so that it's not taken for a joke. But I'm going to tell you why it's taken for a joke too. I got to take some water. I've been talking and now I'm like really parched. Okay. Um, so many different coaches, many different researchers talk about coaching in a different way. Some people talk about coaching from the perspective of an approach. Some people talk about coaching from the perspective of an industry or an area or a field. Some people, or some researchers, some coaches talk about coaching from the perspective of a method, how you perform a particular behavior or activity. And so, coaching from my standpoint and this particular episode is more about what we do, the practice of coaching, the activity, the method of coaching. And so, I go by the International Coaching Federation's um, definition for the most part, and it's really a collaborative partnership where a coach is helping the coachee maximize their full potential. And as a coach, another thing that we do is help our clients capitalize on their resources. So, what happens is that when someone comes to us as a coach, they either have a particular goal in mind that they want to achieve, and they really want us to help them figure out, okay, how do I get to point B? I'm at point A. How do I do point B? Or I'm at point F. How do I get to point G? Like they come to us with a particular mindset on how can you help me get to where I would like to be next in my life. Some clients come to us because they have a particular need, a particular problem, and they want a resolution for that particular problem. Sometimes people come to us because they're just not sure what they want to do. They're just not sure. So they may have confusion, or they may feel stuck, or they may feel confused. So there's a lot of different reasons why people come to us as coaches. But the key that we have to remember as coaches is that we're there simply to help our clients make the best decision for them. We are there to help them maximize their strengths, maximize their potential. We're not there to make them happy per se. We're not there to fix anything because it's not our job to fix our clients. It is our job to listen to our clients, identify what they're telling us their needs are, and then us strategizing with them in this beautiful partnership, this beautiful relationship to help our clients figure out what their next step is, to be satisfied where they are, to find contentment, to find peace, whatever their idea of a solution is or what's going to help them. That is our job. But, if you look at, celebrity coaches, or if you look at media, if you look at television shows, um, you wouldn't get that thought. You wouldn't have that mindset about coaching. A lot of people in our population think that coaching is therapy or counseling. I've had people come to me like I had one particular individual. I was actually going food shopping, and I'm getting my stuff, and I was in line to pay, and the person was talking to me, and and I got my little coaching hat on, and I had shared with the individual, I am a professional coach. I would love to provide you a discovery session and see how coaching can benefit you, blah 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 blah. And her whole thing was, well, I've done therapy and, it didn't work for me. And I said, well, coaching isn't therapy. Then we kind of veered into another conversation, and she was like, she recently lost her aunt who she loved and she was very close to. And she was like, well, do you do grief counseling? I'm like, well, coaching isn't counseling. I said, can I coach you through the experience? Absolutely. I can help you identify, why you might be stuck, or are you grieving, or what's stopping you from grieving. And if you want to explore that, we can absolutely have that kind of discussion. But I'm not a grief counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not, here to diagnose you or to see your situation from the perspective of dysfunction. And that's something that I think as coaches, or with coaching, or the experience of coaching, that's a benefit. And this is one of the things that I love to share with my clients. And that is, coaching is not about what's wrong. Coaching is not about, um, you know, how you feel about your mom or what your childhood was like. Unless we identify, certain childhood experiences or certain relationships in your past kind of influence your decision making right now, and we come up with a way to strategize so that you can get through that. Other than that, I don't stay in the pool or in the water of the problem and the dysfunction and the trauma and the pain. I go into the part of the pool where you feel good about yourself, where you're relaxed, where you have a solution to all the problems and the trauma. I wade in the water with you as far as helping you identify what do you need, what do you want to do to help you through the learned behaviors that maybe you took on when you were younger and they no longer work now. So it's a vast difference. Now, yes, therapists can coach you. There are many therapists who actually are certified coaches. Of course they can. But as a coach, unless I'm a licensed clinician, I'm not going to diagnose you. I'm not going to talk about all the pain and suffering of your past. We're not going to wallow in that. We're going to go, okay, this happened. Okay, what do you want to do about it? And then we're going to talk and brainstorm. And I'm going to ask you some powerful questions, some curious questions. I'm going to get you thinking about what's your resources, what's your potential, what are your choices and decisions that you can make. I'm going to help you feel good about yourself because you're going to come up with something that makes sense to you so that you can move forward. And so that is one of the benefits of coaching. And I think that that's lost, especially when you look at television and a lot of people who call themselves coaches and they're really motivational speakers. Um, you look at what they do, and while they may ask some really good questions initially, I find that there's more focus on the problem. And I also find that they're telling people what to do. And my thing is, as a coach, it's not our job to tell people what to do. That's not what we do. That's not what we're supposed to do. Um, can you take off your coaching hat? Yes. But if a client comes to me and they're like, I'm here because I want you to coach me, Coach Dawn, I'm going to coach them. If I feel like, okay, they will benefit more from mentoring or consulting more so than coaching in this moment, I would get my client's permission first and say, you know, I want to take off my coaching hat for a second and share some thoughts. Is that okay with you? I give them the opportunity to decide, do you want to stop coaching and do you now want advice? Do you now want me to use my psychology background and my consulting hat versus my coaching hat? And I ask permission. But when I look at how coaching is represented on television or in the movies, or when public speakers or motivational, inspirational speakers are uh, kind of sort of coaching or call themselves coaching, I get a little frustrated because you're really not asking the client's permission or the individual's permission to go outside the boundaries of coaching. The second part is that a lot of times these individuals who call themselves coaches will tell people what to do. And we also have to remember when people are on television, when people are in conferences and there's a lot of eyes watching them, they may change how they would respond. Or they may say, yes, I'm willing to implement what you told me to do over 90 days because you're telling me this in front of thousands of people. But here's the funny thing. Are they really going to do it once the show is over? Are they really going to do it once they're out of the conference? And from some of the studies that I've read, no, they're not. And the thing about coaching, what a lot of the studies have reported, or a lot of researchers have reported, is that when people are coming up with the strategies for themselves, when the coach is doing their jobs and they're really implementing coaching in the right way, or the best way, or the most effective way, they're going to come up with the strategy. The client is going to come up with the strategy and the decision and the goal plan, and they're going to be more likely to implement it, and we're going to be able to hold them accountable. When I look at these TV shows and they start talking, about coaching or that they are coaching, it kind of saddens me because it's like, where's the accountability? Like, part of our job as coaches is to create accountability for our clients so that they will stay on track with whatever strategies they've decided to implement. And so I just kind of wanted to give you guys that understanding of really what our job is. We're really there is to help people tap into their full potential, to capitalize on their resources. We don't tell them what to do. We don't try to fix them. We, it's not about what we want. We don't have a dog in the fight. I always use the analogy when I'm teaching because I have my coach training program. ReadReady.com. Go to ReadReady, ReadReady.com, and click on the registration link, and you'll see the classes as they're coming up. But in my coach training program, um, we talk about, not hijacking the client's agenda and that we don't have a dog in the fight. And sometimes I talk about like my different experiences. Like I had one client who we were brainstorming different ideas on like bringing in extra income. The individual wanted to find a good route for themselves to pay off their debt, for instance. And we were looking at, things that the individual can do and we're brainstorming. And so one of the one of the ideas that came up was, being a party clown because, kids have parties, they get clowns or, you do a character. And that was one of the items she put on her table that as we were talking and brainstorming. And she goes, well, what do you think about that? Do you think I should do that? I said, well, you know what? It's not important what I think. I think it's more important, is that something that you want to do? Do you have the bandwidth to do that? Do you know what that would entail for you? Why are you doing it? Are you just doing it to get money? How are you going to promote yourself? Like, so we started talking and I started asking her certain questions to get her to think about, is this what you want to do? And as I was giving her certain questions, she started writing down, oh, you know what? This is what I want to do. And I do want to do entertainment. And then she started thinking about how she could promote herself for parties and how she could get money to do that. And blah, blah, blah. And so we wound up coming up with a really great strategy and having her idea of a child party entertainer, how that can make her money. And believe it or not, she wind up actually quitting her 9 to 5 and doing that full time, which I thought was an amazing leap of faith. So while she came to me with the idea of, I'm looking to find additional money to pay down my debt, by the time her sessions were over, she wound up having her own business as a child entertainment professional. And she paid off her debt and she made lots of money for herself. And it was an amazing experience. And so the point of that story or sharing that experience with you is to understand we don't have a dog in the fight. Like, some coaches might go, you don't want to do that. There's no money in that. And start to tell the client what they should do. And it's like, it's, it's not our place. You know what I mean? The goal is for the client, the coachee, to decide what they want. All right, y'all. I am going to, as I drink some water, I am so parched. Oh my gosh. I gotta pay bills. um, and so I am very proud to announce one of my sponsors is TechAssist. They provide support and assistance for all of your technology needs. If you would like someone to help you with getting a new PC, configuring your PC, helping you install applications, helping you create a wireless home, a wireless entertainment center. Oh my gosh, anything technology, if you want it, they can help you put it together. That's TEK assist, ASSIST.com. That's their website. And their telephone number is 609-680-7922. And they work with small businesses, they work with SOHOs or small offices, small home-based offices. They help you become very, very, very um, techie smart, if you will. You know, they can have your whole system, your whole house, your entertainment, your music, your computer, your Netflix, your Hulu, all of that stuff can be configured and wired in a very nice press of a button type of way to help you really find technology a lot easier to use and more helpful and more beneficial for your needs. So definitely check out our sponsors, Tech Assist, and give them a call, 609-680-7922 for your PC and networking needs. And yes, they will help you with purchasing a computer. They will come to your home to help, if you're having some technology difficulties. They have contracts. They really are about the small business owner and the home-based business owner because, as a home-based business owner myself, we don't necessarily have that type of budget that your huge multi-billion dollar companies have. So this is a really great support system for you to help you, help you with your technology needs. So definitely check out our sponsor. They are a friend of the show. They have been for the last 2 years, even before we had this platform. And if you would like to be a sponsor on the show, make sure you visit my website and click on the Reach Out tab, and you can actually email me. And yes, let's talk about you being on the show. Let's talk about you being a sponsor, and we would love to have you. Also, we are in the midst of planning our retreat for wifepreneurs and mompreneurs, and I'm so excited about that. That is going to be September 11th, 12th, and 13th. And so if you go to readready.com, you will be able to learn more about our retreat and how you can leave your deposit and what's going to be entailed. And it's a very intimate, small group. We're only going to have about 20, 25 women, but it's going to be a phenomenal opportunity for us to let go as women, as entrepreneurs, as coaches. And we have some great activities lined up for you. And you will be seeing more posts on my social media. So make sure you follow me on social media so you can keep abreast of all the information about the retreat. All right, so paid the bills. Thank you very much. So back to the conversation. So what I really want to share with you now is some of the differences between coaching and other coaching fields and why people get it a little bit confused and what you as a coach can do to educate your clients, your potential clients, your followers, your users on what coaching really is. So like I said earlier, coaching is often confused with counseling. So, as I already said, it is two totally separate things. While a therapist or a counselor can definitely utilize coaching tools and coaching approaches, they the coach does not utilize therapy. Now, I'm definitely in a unique position because of my background in psychology and behavioral science. And so I have an understanding of, some of the points in abnormal psychology or applied psychology. And I can understand why behavior can influence decision making and goal achievement. And that does help me a lot with helping my clients. Don't get me wrong, because I can understand the behavior. And when I take off my coaching hat, I can help them understand what we know about behavior. However, as a coach, when you start getting into therapy and diagnoses and all of that good stuff, that is outside of the realm of coaching. And so, if you are diagnosing people, if you're telling them, well, I think you have anxiety or I think you are depressed, I'm going to treat you or treat your anxiety and treat your depression through coaching, no, that is crossing the boundary, and that is not coaching. Um, can you take off your coaching hat If you have the qualifications to help explain behavior, absolutely. But to diagnose, unless you are a licensed clinician, you are not diagnosing, and you cannot tell somebody this is what you have or what you're experiencing. Now, if I do suspect someone of anxiety, I can definitely use coaching and meditation tools and different things to help them think about their anxiety in a different way. Absolutely. Or their depression. But if I feel that somebody's in danger, I can recommend and say this is outside of the boundaries of coaching. I don't say I think that you have anxiety or I think that you have depression or I think that you have whatever, whatever, or you're a narcissist. I don't ever tell somebody what I think they have. One, I didn't assess them. I would have to first assess them empirically before I can make a decision. But can I say I suspect? If I take my coaching hat off, maybe. Or I can say, I think what you're asking me is outside of the boundaries of coaching. And my recommendation is that you seek out a therapist who specializes in certain behavioral challenges that, people experience. So with counseling and therapy, it's really about the focus of the problem. It's really about the diagnoses. It's an assessment. It's an evaluation based upon therapeutic types of approaches. It is about treating people, fixing people, helping them based upon clinical measures. Coaching is not clinical. It is not about the dysfunction that people have. It is about how do we create a solution. Excuse me, a solution. So that's kind of that contrast. Coaching is not therapy. Coaching is not motivational speaking. A lot of times you'll have people who will get on stage and I speak. I'm a motivational speaker. I get out there and speak and I have activities and I do workshops and I do certain things, but I'm not coaching when I'm in that environment. So when I'm in my motivational space and let's say a client or an audience member has a question, I might ask some coaching questions. Yes, but I am not coaching them. And if I think they can benefit from coaching, I normally say, at the end of the presentation, here's my information, contact me and let's see how coaching with me would benefit you in that particular problem that you mentioned. So I definitely invite them to contact me to experience coaching and to see how coaching can help with their situation. But when I'm doing workshops or when I'm doing public speaking, I'm doing more advising and consulting than I am coaching. I'm doing sharing of information. I'm helping tap into people's intrinsic motivations, most importantly. And if I need to, I try to tap into their extrinsic motivations. That's the stuff like, if you do this, you'll feel more motivated. And it's more of an external type of way of stimulating motivation than an internal way. And so I think it's very important for people to understand just because somebody public speak, it doesn't mean that they're coaching you or that they're a coach. And professional coaching or a professional coach is somebody who one gets paid to coach, has training in coaching and coaching skills and coaching models and coaching approaches. Um, they are predominantly utilizing coaching as a means to help people capitalize on their resources and achieve their full potential. But again, it's a difference. So motivational speaking, a motivator is not necessarily a coach. Um, Consulting is not coaching. When we talk about consulting, usually that's more of an advisory role. That's more of someone who has certain expertise. There's a little bit of knowledge sharing in there. Can you coach and consult? Absolutely. But you have to remember that if you're in a consulting capacity, you're not really utilizing coaching. because you're going to be giving more advisement than anything else. Another helping profession that I think a lot of people get confused with is mentoring. A lot of people say, oh, well, I don't need a coach because I have a mentor. Guess what? You should have a coach and a mentor. You should. Um, and the difference between a mentor and a coach, yes, a mentor can coach you. Most mentors will coach you. But the difference is that the mentor does not have to be a certified professional coach. You're not getting paid to be a coach. Another key factor or key difference is that with a mentor, they usually have more experience. They kind of where you want to be. Like I do uh, coach to coach mentoring or coach mentoring. Um, and that means that, a lot of new coaches or people who have not become a coach yet, or maybe they're new to coaching and they're like, okay, Coach Dawn is where I want to be. Coach Dawn has a podcast. She got her website. She's registered. She's certified. She's got this, that, and the other. She does her speaking. She got books. She got all these things going on. And I want to implement those things in my coaching practice. I would be a mentor in that situation. And I would help guide that person using some coaching tools, but a lot of modeling and saying, okay, these are the things that I did. Here are the booby traps. Here are the myths. Here are the potholes in the road. These are the things that you might want to consider. But then I might take off my mentor hat and put on the coaching and then ask questions and help my coach client achieve a particular goal or come up with a particular strategy for their next step and identify resources that they need to help them get to where they want to go. So mentoring can overlap with coaching, but I think it's very important for you to understand that a mentor usually has more experience than you and it's more of a professional type of profile because you're looking to advance your career or your profession or something in the lines of you doing something to make money in your own life and you want somebody to help you get down that road. So it's very career specific, if you will, or profession specific, because that person is where you want to be. Yes, your mentor can coach you, but they're probably and more likely going to utilize more mentoring strategies over coaching strategies. And I think that's very important for people to understand. Training, can a trainer coach? Absolutely. But the difference with the trainer is a trainer is sharing and imparting knowledge. That is their key role for you. Not to coach you to your highest potential, but to help you develop particular skills. So, those are kind of those differences, with therapy and mentoring and counseling and advising and all that good stuff. And everybody who serves a particular helping role does not necessarily mean they're coaching. It's the same thing with ministers. A lot of ministers say, yes, I coach. And it's like, okay, are you a professional coach? What tools are you using? What approaches are you using? Or are you telling your client what they should do? Because a lot of times when you are a clergy or a minister, you're going by a particular scripture and expected behavior based upon religious beliefs. Again, as a coach, I'm not going to tell you you have to do this because God says so, or Allah said so, or the Buddha said so. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go, what do you want to do? What makes sense for your conscience? Now, if you want to say, I want to do what God told me to do, cool. What do you feel God is telling you to do? And we'll work on that. I'll go that route with you. I am an ordained minister, by the way. um, but again, when I'm doing spiritual advisement, I am not necessarily coaching. It's more, this is what the scriptures say. And I'm an interfaith minister, so isn't it fun? I have to know so many different scriptures and texts. What fun! But it is fun. Actually, it's very interesting. It's very fun. It's very rewarding. Um, but as a minister, I might use scripture. I might say, well, according to the Bible or according to the Quran or according to the Torah, this is what is expected. How do you feel about that? How can you see yourself applying this? Or which ways would you like to apply this? Um, so that would be the difference with a minister. But just because you're a minister doesn't mean you're coaching? Again, are you certified? Did you get specialized training? And are you getting paid to coach? That's what makes you a professional coach. Now, oh my goodness, this went by very quickly. It is already 42 minutes after, and I'm really excited. And so, what I'm going to do is start to wrap up. And so, one of the things that some studies have pointed out, people what do people look for in a coach, and I think this is very important that you might want to do as a coach. People look for expertise. Do you have any kind of experience with my particular problem? Another thing people look for is certification. What's your background? What's your credentials? A big thing that people look for is compatibility, comfort level. Can I trust you? Can I be vulnerable with you? And I think that is very, very important because when people come to us, they got to trust us. They got to get vulnerable, and we have to be vulnerable with them. And so, what happens is that they're looking for someone that they can build rapport with, that they can have a really strong relationship with, and be themselves, be their authentic selves with. So, think about that, coaches. This is what people are looking for. So it's going to be very important for you to position yourself in a way that's going to allow your potential clients to know, yes, that person can help me because that's what they do. That's their niche. That's what they have experience doing. They've helped other women or men or athletes or musicians or whatever your need is, they've helped people like me. And so defining your niche is going to be very important. And also being a trustworthy person, being someone that your client feel good talking to and building a relationship with. So that's kind of where I'm going to end it. I want to say thank you guys so much. Again, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. This was our first episode. I hope you guys, yay! I hope you guys are going to come back and tune in next week. Please make sure you sign in. Follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. On Instagram. Read Ready. Are you Read Ready? Coach Reed. Follow me, like me, share, tag. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I love you guys. Go out there and create awesome sauce for yourself and for others.